creative peeps, and welcome back to my channel. This video was highly requested by you guys. This is a continuation in my DIY journal series. Today I'm going to be showing you a few ideas for how you can repurpose a book. Some of you had said that you gutted your book and then had no idea where to go from there. So I'm going to hopefully give you some tips today. This is actually me starting to create my 2018 journal. So this is a cover that I used for it. I gutted this book that I got for $1. And so all you do is you cut the spine out. You just cut along the edges there to cut it out. Works better with older books. Some newer books, they're glued in there pretty well and it's hard to get out, but you just want to make sure that you're cutting it away from the cover and not actually severing the spine from the cover. Now there's a couple different ways I do this. One way, it's the easiest way to do it. Once you got your book, you take some cardboard. It could be from the back of a paper pad, it could be from your recycling bin, just any type of thick cardboard, and I cut a piece that is the same size as the spine, and I glue it down to reinforce it. This just ensures that your book won't be all floppy, and your spine is really sturdy to hold the weight of your papers and stuff. Sometimes when you got a book, they're pretty thin. So that's what I'm doing here. I just cut and you want to make sure that you can fold your sides easily so that it opens and closes. So you will need to leave a little gap, but it takes some fiddling, but as you saw, I don't measure perfectly or anything. I just kind of eyeball it with a pencil. And then I take some tacky glue. Don't have to use tacky glue. I just find it dries the best. It doesn't get all bubbly and stuff. And you can move it around a little bit, but it stays pretty secure. So I just cover the spine of the book with a little bit of glue, no water, just dry brush, and then put a little bit on the ends and really kind of smooth it down there, burnish it on there, and then I let it dry on a flat surface, and that keeps it from getting bubbly. So this one here didn't need any cardboard. It was pretty sturdy to begin with, but I wanted to take this, it's like a book binding mesh. It has a technical name, but Leanne's brain's not working right now. So I take that with some fabric Mod Podge. Yes, they make Mod Podge for fabric. I'm sure you could use other things, but this is just what I have on hand, so I was using this. I put the glue on the spine and then through the cloth here. It is a tiny bit shiny when it's dry, but it's not a huge deal. I'm going to cover the inside of this book, so I'm not super worried about it. I just want to reinforce it, and this makes for a really mobile spine, which is cool. You could even do this after the cardboard step, not a big deal. So I just kind of cut the ends off. You could also probably use cheesecloth. I wanted to put some headband on here. This is another book binding tool. Not really a tool, but you know what I mean. Material, there we go. So I'm doing that. There are tons of ways that you could reinforce your spine. These are just a few of the ones that I like to do. And then sometimes when you get a book like this one, the spine isn't as big as you want it to be. So I made a new spine. And there is a way to make a new spine while keeping the old spine. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm just taking this cardboard. It's pretty thick because it is going to be the material of the spine. And I cut it, I think I did a 3-inch spine or maybe a 2.5. Because I want it to hold a lot of papers and bulk, you know me. So I'm just making sure it's the right height. And it was a little too flimsy, so I decided to cut another piece the same size, and I'm going to glue those two pieces together to create the spine. So one thing that works really well, especially when doing this, and you don't have to wait for it to dry, is score tape. So this is 1/2 inch score tape. You can get it in 1 inch as well, but I just ran 3 strips down the length there of the spine and burnished it on. Then I'm going to peel it off, and I take tacky glue, I believe. I just had a little bit left on the roll, so I thought I'd use it. Yes, I take tacky glue, and I'm going to put glue where the tape wasn't there in the center, and that's just going to create a really cohesive, fast-drying bond, because you want your spine to obviously stay together. This would be good, right? So I'm going to lay the 2 pieces of cardboard onto each other. You need to be kind of careful and precise, because that sticky tape is not going to let you have a second try. It's forever. The glue does give you a little bit of wiggle room, but just make sure you're precise. And then I burnished it with a credit card to make sure that those held together. Now, while that's drying, I am cutting the spine and the excess material off of the book board, just using an X-Acto knife for this. Be careful, obviously, and get an adult if you don't have one, but I think most of us are adults here. So here is the original spine. Now I cut off the curvy bits just to make it glue down better. You could probably keep that if you really wanted, but I'm going for no bubbles and a fast dry. So it's me just cleaning up the edges a little bit more. There we go. And then I'm going to take the old spine and glue it in the center of my new spine. And that's going to have me be able to keep the title of the book and make it look pretty authentic. Yeah, maybe that's not the word I was going for, but I did kind of the same thing, put score tape on it and some glue. And I'm going to burnish it on to the spine. And wipe off the excess glue, and then I'm going to let that dry. Put it to the side, I think. Oh, I forgot to cut out cleaning my mat. So here I'm just kind of lining my covers up, and to put this all together I'm going to use bookbinding tape. I get mine from Amazon. I believe this is the 2-inch. I will try to remember to link it below for you, but if I forgot, just ask. But it's kind of like a fabric type sticky tape. And what I'm doing is I'm laying it on the spine with a little excess. In hindsight, you would probably want a little more excess because you're going to want to fold it over. But I'm just doing that. It does have a little bit of repositionability, so that's cool. But, so I've done that, and then you want to leave a little bit of a gap, just like when we were making our easy cover for beginners. You want to leave a little bit of a gap between the spine and the cover so that you have room to close it or fold it or whatever you want to call it. So here I'm just adhering the front and back cover. I would have liked a little excess to fold over there, so in hindsight I would have done that, but I sometimes don't think very well when the camera's on because I'm trying to do it as fast as I can, so I don't have to edit a lot. So then I'm going to do the same thing on the inside. I'm just taking this tape and I'm going to I tore it in half because I'm just reinforcing the inside here, and I'm going to end up putting a piece of paper over it, so it's okay if it's messy, but I just want to make sure that that spine and the cover are married for life. I know, I'm a dork, it's okay. So, yeah. Hopefully this is helpful. I did put little pieces of tape on the top just so that the white, there wasn't a gap, you know what I mean? Yeah. So then this is the way you can cover most of them, or any of them I should say. You can just put a piece of paper in the middle, on the sides. It creates an extra layer of strength, and it also makes it look pretty finished without doing a whole lot. I wanted to make the tape match the coloring of the original spine, so I took this Tim Holtz paint in Fossilized Amber, I believe it is, and just painted the bottom of the tape there. I also put a little bit on the inside covers of the book itself, because I'm not covering the book papers all the way. I wanted to leave some of that in there. You don't have to use just paper. You could also cover your book with fabric. That gives it a little extra sturdiness as well, especially if you do not have the bookbinder's tape. So there's another tip for you. Yeah, I don't do that very often because I'm not a huge fabric person, but it definitely works. You could cover it in craft paper like you used to do to your textbooks. That would be kind of cool. You could use canvas, really anything. Just go wild and experiment. But I hope that this helped you give you guys some ideas on how you could use old books as your shell for your journals. I know some of you got stuck, so hopefully this helped you out. I'm just cutting off the excess here to make it, give it a little bit of oomph there. So yeah, and of course I'll be turning those journals into something to sell, but not the big one because obviously that became my journal. But yeah, so just showing you there how it's extra sturdy, and you could add, like I said, anything to these, more book tape or whatever. And this is my finished journal. I forgot to show you guys what it looked like after I glued the paper down. So I'm just showing you now that it's all done. But yeah, that's it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other things that you want me to cover in this DIY journal series, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I am more than happy to help you guys out when you get stuck, or answer any questions that you have that I could answer. So until next time, guys, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe so you don't miss my next one, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.